What's up, y'all? Riley with Smoky Mountain Overland here, and today we are talking about wheels and tires. So we just replaced the Falcon Wild Peak all-terrains that come stock on the Gladiator Mojaves with some General Grabber ATXs, and I want to talk about why we made this change, kind of the technical specs of all the tires, and then kind of our philosophy that we've come to based off of trying different combinations, different sizes, and going through a couple different builds. So the tires that come on the Mojave, if you get the all-terrains, check in just under 33 inches, and these check in at just under 35. Now, the factory tires, those Wild Peak all-terrains, are actually pretty heavy for a 33-inch tire. According to Falcon's website, they weigh about 64 pounds. Whereas these General Grabbers weigh around 63 pounds. So we gained 2 inches of additional tire size, an inch of clearance, while actually shaving a pound off the rolling mass of the actual tire. And we'll talk about why that's important in just a second. The other addition that we made at the same time is kind of hard to miss, and that is these Anthem Off-Road Rogue wheels in a bronze finish. They're 17 by 8.5, and they have a 0mm offset. And we honestly wanted to add a little pop of color to this build. We've always run neutral colored wheels like black and gray in the past, so we wanted to give these a go, and I really like them. To be fully transparent, Rogue did bring us on as an ambassador, so keep that in mind. I'm not going to let that influence our review of these when we do one, but I just wanted to be transparent with you guys. So let's talk a little bit about the technical features as well as some cool little tricks that these wheels have. First of all, they're pretty light. They weigh in at just under 28 pounds. One thing that I do like is these center caps actually cover the lug nuts. So while it's not much, it is one more deterrent between a thief and your wheels being gone. So that is a nice little benefit. I also pulled these little logos and painted them black. I didn't like that they came in a very shiny chrome. It looked kind of plasticky, so went ahead and did that. I think they look pretty good. As I mentioned earlier, we went with the General Grabber ATXs for this build. The reasons are pretty straightforward. We wanted a tire that was kind of a do-everything all-terrain. We put on a lot of highway miles as we kind of split our time between Montana and the Southeast. So we wanted something that would hold up to that abuse. These have a 45,000 mile warranty. We didn't want to go much bigger than 35. These are technically, I think General says 34.4, something like that. We'll give you the actual measurements in a second. But these tires are studdable, so if we need to stud them for the Montana winter, we can do that. They're super lightweight, checking in at around 63 pounds, which is just crazy for a tire that's pushing 35 inches. They're made in the United States, which is a big deal to us. We try to always support American-made brands and products, and honestly, they're a good-looking tire for an all-terrain. For context, we have run several off-road oriented tires in the past, including the Mickey Thompson ATZs, the Wild Peaks from Falcon that came on this Gladiator, and 38-inch Milestar Patagonias on our previous Gladiator. And all of those tires had their pros and cons. They were all great in their own right. But we like to try new things. And the General Grabber ATX seemed to check all of our boxes with this build. They're lightweight. They're quiet and comfortable on the highway. They're aggressive enough to facilitate off-road travels, whether that's a bumpy forest road or a pretty difficult trail. And they seem to handle well and be comfortable for daily driving, which is the primary use that this truck sees. This is my daily driver. So we're excited to put them through their paces and report back to y'all with a more in-depth review. But for now, those are the reasons why we selected this tire. So you've heard me talk a lot about weight in this video, and you might be asking, does weight really matter when it comes to wheels and tires? And the short answer is yes. While circumference does matter, rolling mass is arguably more important. While you may add a bumper or, in our case, a tent and a canopy, those weights are static, right? They don't move. So they do affect the payload of your vehicle, right? But tires move. So they affect your acceleration, your braking, your gas mileage. And while you could re-gear and put on bigger brakes and do other modifications to mitigate those effects of heavier tires, we decided to just keep it as lightweight as possible to begin with. We don't want to re-gear right now, and we really want to keep this build as factory and arguably as reliable as possible, which is why we put together this lightweight wheel and tire combination. Now, if you're building a crawler or your vehicle is going to see intense off-roading where the chance of cutting a sidewall or puncturing a tire is high, then you may end up with a heavier tire, because often there is a correlation between tire weight and the materials used in the tire. So a heavier tire may have more plies, the plies may be made of different materials, and those things can make that tire less susceptible to damage when off-roading. So if you're still with me and I haven't bored you to death yet, I'm going to leave you with some actual real-world measurements of both the stock tires that came on this Mojave Gladiator and our new wheel and tire combination. So the original tires were 33-inch. They were 285/70/17 Falcon Wild Peak AT3Ws, which are suited for winter. And they measured on the vehicle, let's see, 31 3/4 inches. And that's with around 5,000 to 6,000 miles on them of wear. So we'll be generous. We'll say 32 inches. That wheel tire combination, when I weighed it, clocked in at 89 pounds. By contrast, this new wheel tire combination checked in at 97 pounds, and these tires measure on the vehicle 33.5 inches. So we gained 1 3/4 inches of height total, and only added 8 pounds of rolling mass per corner. So in my opinion, the extra clearance, the looks, if we're being honest, were worth that 8 pounds. You can get tires of the same size that weigh upwards of 80 pounds a piece, which is insane. So we're very happy so far with our choice, and I will be sure to update you with how they wear, how they perform on various terrains, and so forth. If I missed anything, you have any questions, or you have an idea for what we should talk about next, drop a comment below. Be sure to like this video, subscribe if you like what we're doing, and we look forward to having a conversation with you and sharing some more content.